Meeting is now streaming recorded.
Okay. Okay, Chris?
Yeah, all good, Jimmy.
Okay, baby love. I've lost you, but I can hear you.
Fabulous. Thank you for that. Jimmy, are you okay to mute yourself? I'll mute you, don't worry. Where is it?
I could hear myself playing then, but I wasn't playing.
Yeah, it's weird that, isn't it? Oh, sorry. Oh, I've switched to Emma. Is the YouTube? I've switched to YouTube on. Okay, sorry. Right, I'm back. It's okay. It's cool. We're live, still live on YouTube. Right. Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome. A big welcome to some new people today. Actually, we've got Karen and David in Stroud Green. We've got Ollie and Paul who are in off Green Lanes. We've got Megan and Ed who are in Sale. Jessica in Crouch End. This is her first one that she's come to. She's been to our other ones in real life, which is starting again soon. Dee's back from Limerick. We've got Karen and Miles in Hornsey. And we've got Jonathan and Kay also in Hornsey, and Ian and Anne in Paris. Welcome, everyone. Get yourselves a drink. We have got... So, some people have ordered this. You can order this anywhere in the country, actually. So this is from Hacker Bar, which is London's only agave and tequila bar, specifically for that. Basically, this cocktail is called Mirror Margarita, and it looks like water. It feels like it's kind of a dangerous thing. It looks like water, but it's actually a perfect margarita. Weirdly, it'll keep in this bottle for 4 months. And it is, sorry, going to be a bit noisy there. Hang on, I'm just going to mix it up with some ice. That's how you do it. And it's basically, it was the 7th best cocktail in the world, according to Time Out, and the cocktail of the year in 2020, sorry. According to Glass magazine. So tell us what you're drinking. Cheers as ever. Cheers, Jimmy.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's so weird. I mean, it actually tastes like a margarita, but it looks like water. There you go. Right, so if you've got your burger kits from Smoke and Bones, you should have come with a thing like this. This is your instructions. But I'm going to start cooking mine now. So this evening, we're watching Martin Scorsese's. After Hours, which is a kind of like I'll go into it a bit more in a while, but it's a kind of little known Martin Scorsese film, and part of the reason for that is because it was sort of unplanned, basically. Scorsese was meant to be doing The Last Temptation of Christ, and the studio, Paramount, decided that they didn't want him to do that. So with 4 weeks' notice, with the sets built and with the costumes all made, they decided that Scorsese... I'm just going to have another drink. That Scorsese, they wouldn't do it. So what happened was he decided that he'd find a film student who had written a film and got an A for it, fortunately. And this is how he came to make After Hours. It's got like the most bonkers cast in it because it's got Griffin Dunne in it. Griffin Dunne actually knew the film student. That's kind of partly why it got made. It's got Catherine O'Hara and John Hurd, who then reunited. They're sort of not in the film together really much, but they were in they were in Home Alone together. And it's got like Terry Garr, who's an amazing, amazing actress. So get your burgers on. Hopefully you've downloaded the film by now. As ever, Smoke and Bones have sent these burgers out from Hackney. Okay, so for tonight, I decided that I would work with a photographer called Greg Girard, Greg Girard is a Canadian photographer, and he has been photographing. He's, I can't remember how old he is now, 62, 66. And he's been photographing since he was 17, basically doing things like, basically, he started in Vancouver. He then moved into the Far East. He went to Tokyo and things. So what I thought I would do is I would show a slideshow of his work. He's very kindly sent to me, while Jimmy plays a bit more. And then I'm going to do I've interviewed Greg. I'll come back to that later. But let me set this slideshow up, Jimmy, so you can play along. So it's about 5-6 minutes, and this is Greg's work, which I kind of felt worked really well with After Hours. So here we go. Enjoy this while you're cooking your burgers and whatnot. So here we go. Over to you, Jimmy.
Good morning.
Jimmy, fantastic, thank you. Thank you, Jimmy.
Hello.
Cheers, mate. Okay, so I am going to do the quiz now, everyone. Oh, what am I doing? I've gone mad. Hang on a second, sorry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen, everyone, so we can do the quiz. And then what I'll do is, here we go. So I'm just going to let everyone catch up. So what we've done is I've got a quiz here. I've got 2 pages, so we've got 8 questions in total. I've got 4 questions on the Martin Scorsese film. And then I've got 4 questions on films that take place in one night or over 24 hours. You'll see that After Hours does all of that. It takes place in one night. And then I'm going to do an interview with Greg, which will explain to you kind of partly why I kind of like felt that Greg was good for the film and everything. So if you know any of the answers, basically what I want to know from you on this is, what's the film? There are bonus answers. Also, do tell me where you are. Tell me what you're eating. Tell me what you're drinking. Put it in the YouTube chat. And then we'll give you shout outs. But if you know the answers to any of these, so we've got 4 Martin Scorsese films here. Some are kind of more obvious than others. Do let me know which of these you know. I think After Hours is one of the few films that doesn't have any of the usual Martin Scorsese actors in it, with those being Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, and I'm not going to say any more because actually I'll give away kind of what's who's actually in this. So I'm not hearing whether anyone's answering this at the moment. So do put it in the chat. This is actually the last Rebel Reel that we're going to do on a Friday at home, because we were able to go back into being in real life. We're actually coming back on the 29th of April at the Silver Building, which is where Jimmy played previously. Iris, can you get me that picture of that, please? So just to let you know, okay, so there's no answers yet, I'm understanding. Have we got any chat though, Emma? So basically, on the 29th of April, we're going back to the Silver Building. I have secured the rights for Faster Pussycat, Kill Kill, which is the Russ Meyer film, which is, it looks not quite as racy as on the poster, actually. It's not as racy as on the poster. But I believe we're getting answers now. So, so Ian King from Paris said, Goodfellas. Well done, Ian. That's top right. Tori's got The Irishman. Well done. Bottom right there. Has anyone got, I wonder if anyone's got the bottom left. Mal Ayres has said Mean Streets. And Taxi. Samuel Howard has said Taxi Driver. So the top left is actually Taxi Driver, not Mean Streets. And weirdly, it actually looks like a photo from Greg, actually, that one.
we've got an argument apparently between Taxi Driver and Mean Streets. So no one's got the bottom left one yet. So if you've got the bottom left, let me know. Jimmy, can you see these pictures? Can you see? Do you know any of these without giving them away?
Bottom one.
Do you know the bottom left one?
Yeah.
Which is an immense film. Do you know the film that I didn't put in here was New York, New York, which I just think is
Brilliant. Yeah.
So Jimmy, you're the only person I think at the moment that's got the bottom left without even saying what it is. Has just said, Torian Guilford has just said, the one with the sad comedian. It's pretty accurate. So I think we'll probably, let's go on to the next page then. Emma, should I go on to the next page? Oh, Tori's now said King of Comedy. Well done, Tori. So we've got top left, Taxi Driver. Bottom left is King of Comedy. Samuel Howard is keen to point out it's not Sam. I'm quite amazed at Samuel Howard's knowledge of films actually at such a young age. Right, so we've now got 4 films. These films all take place in one night or in 24 hours. It's quite amazing that Hollywood seems to, or alternative indie Hollywood anyway, seems to celebrate one-night things taking place in cars a lot. So I'm imagining that Ian in Paris might well get this top left. I think the hardest one of these is the bottom left. Jimmy, have you got any idea?
I saw that film recently that's on the bottom, on the right-hand side with Jamie Foxx and Tom Cruise.
Yeah, which is...
It's not a film, but the photo looks really good.
I think it's possibly Tom Cruise's best performance, along with Magnolia.
Yeah, Magnolia was great. That was brilliant, yeah.
I mean, that's an amazing film. And Jamie Foxx is just brilliant in it. Yeah, Ian King in Paris and Anne Bodnez have got Jim Jarmusch. Malaise has said Collateral, so we've got that, Jimmy, like you said. Kay said Joker. Which film is that? And Jessica said Taxi Stories. I think she means Jim Jarmusch, Night on Earth. But I'm really interested to see if anyone could get this one with a yellow car. So this is a film made by, I'm not going to say the director is, but it's Francis Ford, well, it's not Francis Ford Coppola, it's not Martin Scorsese, it's of the same era, in the 70s. It was his second film that he made. Jessica said Taxi Stories. This bottom left film had Harrison Ford when he was working as a carpenter. He went on to work for this director in his most famous films, but this is his first film about growing up in just outside of Hollywood. It's completely autobiographical, and has anyone got the top right film? So this is a bit misleading, this film, this image, because it's they're in suits in black and white through the rest of the film. So Emma, have we got anyone else that's got any ideas on this? So just to sum up, we have got, Jessica's saying Grease 2, and we've had American Graffiti. Whoever said American Graffiti, well done. So we've got Night on Earth, Life on Earth, Night on Earth. Top right is Reservoir Dogs. American Graffiti is correct for the yellow car, Collateral. American Graffiti is coming through from lots of people now, but Reservoir Dogs, no one got Reservoir Dogs, sadly. So just to go back to the beginning, we've got Taxi Drivers, Goodfellas, Patrick Walls, well done, Reservoir Dogs, King of Comedy, The Irishman, Night on Earth, Reservoir Dogs, American Graffiti, and Collateral. So that's brilliant. So I'm going to finish that Okay, so thank you, everyone. Well done, everyone. You got it in the end. So, oh, gone to the wrong screen. There we go. So, yeah, so I was saying about 29th of April, we're coming back in real life. We're going to do Faster Pussycat Kill Kill at the Silver Building. Very kindly, Russ Mayer's people. So Russ Mayer's people, it's Janice who's at his place, who has very kindly allowed us to show this. Janice used to run the video store that was Russ's favourite video store, and she now looks after the estate. As well as that, we are working with Piston Heads. I'm sure some of you have seen Piston Heads beer. Some of you have seen that I've bought a three-wheeler Vespa, hopefully on the proceeds of Keith Richards' jacket. And it's at the body shop at the moment. Piston Heads have agreed that they are going to partner with us. So I think I'm probably going to get this painted on the side of the canvas back for the van that I'm calling Keith Richards. So, Jimmy, would you be okay to play again if I put up an interview with
Yeah, of course, yeah.
with Greg?
I'll play very quietly.
Hang on a second, I'll just get it on the screen, Jimmy. Sorry, Jimmy, I'm just going to share the screen. Here we go. Jimmy, if you want to start, I'll just start doing this. Thank you. So everyone, this was an interview that I did with Greg a couple of days ago. He's very kindly lent us the pictures, sent us the pictures, and just to talk about his time. So Jimmy, yeah, anytime you want to start, and then I'll start playing the interview.
I don't even know how to separate it all, but you know, when I was a teenager and I started making pictures, it was around that time of Hollywood when people like Altman and early Scorsese were making films that had these either flat endings or bad endings. You know, it was a time of this really deep filmmaking period, and they hardly do that anymore, you know, where a film ends on a kind of a flat note with things being not resolved, you know.
Yeah. But you were quite young when you started, weren't you, doing that in Vancouver in the docks and things?
Yeah, I was a teenager, yeah. So.
But am I right in having read that you went and stayed there?
I used to stay in cheap hotels downtown as a teenager, yeah. And in high school, I'd spend weekends in a cheap hotel and photograph and that kind of thing. So.
Do you think because you were staying in those places, it kind of gave you an eye to it, or was it a logistical thing, or
a mixture of both. I mean, I didn't, you know, I lived with my parents in the suburbs, kind of, you know. I mean, and so I was a dilettante. less than that. You know, that was my license, and that's kind of what, you know, making pictures is even now, right?
Yeah.
So
it kind of gives you a purpose, which means that you kind of become anonymous.
Yeah, that's right. You know, you're in service of this other thing you're doing, you know, so you're just there to do that.
But when you went, was it Tokyo that you went to and you arrived and you walked around and just kept shooting for the whole night?
Yeah.
And you know that it's like there's that moment between kind of like 3:30 and 5 in the morning where the world is a different place.
Absolutely.
And I mean, it's quite attractive that, because it's kind of it's weird, because in London in lockdown it's been a bit like that a lot of times. But it's like it becomes still and life goes kind of slower. And did you feel that in Tokyo? What did you like when you went to Tokyo and it is like alien and amazing? What did you feel?
Yeah, I mean, you know, just to make one point is that in those days, you know, modern Japan hadn't arrived yet, you know, in the West sensibility, you know, it was all pre-Blade Runner. So there was no kind of information about Tokyo as a modern kind of super hip, interesting city, you know. That happened soon after, but you kind of didn't figure that out until you kind of went there, and then you realized it's this whole other thing going on.
What year was it you arrived?
Sorry?
What year was it that you arrived?
That was 76.
76, yeah.
Yeah, and so I walked around that first night just, you know, dazzled by this city, and you're right, you know, things go quiet in the middle of the night, and that's maybe demarcated in Tokyo by when the trains stop running and when they start again, you know.
Yeah.
And they have these like all night cafes, which are basically a booth with an overpriced cup of coffee, and they're meant for people to crash for 3 or 4 hours waiting for the train, you know. So that was sort of interesting to discover from the get-go, walking around that first night, you know, looking to cool your heels somewhere, and so you pay a few dollars for this cup of coffee, and you and other people kind of are crashed out in these booths.
Yeah.
You know? No one
it's like the diner in After Hours that Griffin Dunn goes back to, and you know, and the guy says, you know, doesn't charge him and says, you know, different rules apply.
Yeah, right.
After Hours, you know, it's kind of like.
So guys, I was really, really lucky to speak to Greg. I mean, his stuff is amazing. He's made like 10 books. I'm really sorry about the sound on that. I'm putting the whole thing up because I had a chat with Greg for maybe 45 minutes. And I'm going to put the whole thing up on YouTube Live while the film's on. So you can see that if you want to see it. Check out his books, because he's like his whole story of being a 17-year-old in Vancouver. And he's a massive, massive fan. And you might have missed this because of the sound issues. But he was a massive fan of Scorsese, and a lot of his images look like they're straight from a Scorsese film, from Robert Altman. And so basically, we're also, I've produced 20 T-shirts. Greg's very kindly allowed us to use one of his images. And so there's 20 limited edition T-shirts, which if you want to get one, get in touch with me. But basically, look, get yourself sorted. Get yourself another drink. So the badge, sorry, I should have said as well. So the badge that you'll have received for this one, Jimmy, did you get your badges? Sorry, Jimmy, I can't hear you, but I don't know whether. So this badge here is one of Greg's badge images that I made into the badge. Jimmy, did you get your badges? I realised.
Yes, it came this morning.
Fantastic, brilliant. So, as you know, you always get a badge. So we're now on a 5th, 6th badge or whatever. Anyway, so Look, Jimmy, if you could play for another 5 minutes or whatever, everyone get yourselves your drink, get a drink, sort out your food. Then I'll do a quick intro into the film. Hopefully, we're not going to have any more sound problems. That was my fault. Sorry about that, guys. And do check out Greg. He's brilliant. He's on at Greg for a Day on Instagram or greggerard.com on his website. Off you go, Jimmy. Cheers. Jimmy, I always feel so rude ringing you in the middle of you playing. I'm sorry. Right. Thank you. Thank you as ever, Jimmy, in Bristol. Amazing as ever. Sorry, I'm just going to unpin myself. Brilliant. So, thank you, Jimmy. As ever, that was amazing. As I said before, this was going to be the last hangout at home, but it's actually going to be the last hangout at home on a Friday, I think. I think we'll look at, because we've had such a good response and everyone's been really enjoyed it. And as you know, we've had people from Paris to El Paso in Texas, all over the country as well, from Aberdeen. We've got Dee again in Limerick, which is amazing. Thank you for coming, Dee. Basically, thank you all. It's just like this has been our chance to stay together during this whole period. And we are back at the Silver Building, as I said, on the 29th of April. And we're going to be back doing this more often on a Friday in the winter, on a Friday in the winter. But we are going to look at whether we can do a simplified version during the week, but I'll be in touch about that. But as I say, the hangout, which I do in association with Ball Motorcycles, is going to be at the Silver Building on the 29th of April. I have also got another venue, which is in Shoreditch. I'm also talking to 3 other venues. So we will be doing more stuff through the summer when I've got Keith back from the garage, Keith Richards. And so you should have received your after hours bingo, the things to look for in after hours. Please do excuse my poor printout here. Basically, this kind of helps me frame a bit the film itself. As I said with that interview with Greg, which I will put up on YouTube live. And do remember, if you want a T-shirt from with Greg's image, let me know. I do hope you'll all come actually to hang out. I should have said that. It'd be great if any of you are in and around London. Be amazing to see you. So the things to look for in after hours are the diner coffees and the drinks, the after hours drinks. It really is that kind of like small hours thing. And there's an iconic diner that is no longer in New York that you should look out for. Cheech and Chong are in this film, which is kind of weird and brilliant. So see if you can spot them. Catherine Scorsese, Martin Scorsese's mum, appears to be in every film that he's ever made. It's just really weird. Martin Scorsese is in this as well. It's a pretty obvious cameo. When you come back to the Zoom, you'll all have the details of that. If you haven't got them, please do get in touch with Emma on the WhatsApp. We can talk about where you see all these things. Franz Kafka's From Before the Law. There is a script, the dialogue that is purely taken from, it's verbatim Franz Kafka, Before the Law. It'd be really interesting to see if anyone on the Zoom afterwards spots where it is, because it's sort of obvious when you know, but I wouldn't have spotted it. And the other thing is The Weeknd. The Weeknd obviously isn't in this. If you saw his performance at the Super Bowl, absolutely amazing. Directed by Es Devlin, who is the artistic director of London Design Biennale, which I'm doing some stuff on, but anyway, that's another story. But The Weeknd, his video for After Hours, short film video, references just about so many incredible like 70s films. So when he's in this scene in his video, it's frame for frame from After Hours. See if you can spot it. Let me know on the Zoom afterwards. A massive thank you to everyone for coming. The Zoom, obviously, do come to the Zoom if you've not been before. It is really good fun, and I'll be enjoying another Hakkabah Mirror Martini, margarita, sorry. This is just unbelievably nice. So what time are we on now? We're a little bit early, but get yourself sorted. start the film at 8 o'clock, and then we'll be back on the Zoom after the film. I really hope you enjoy it. It's a bit of an, I was going to say it's an odd one, but it's a great Scorsese film, and it's not in his usual vein. And it is, I think Greg said it's a roller coaster ride. Thank you, Jimmy, as ever. Thank you so much. Always enjoy working with you. Thank you to my team here, to Iris and Emma, to Felix and Maud for putting up with this. And thank you all for coming. I really hope you have a nice evening. And we'll see you at the Zoom for a more impromptu, relaxed, probably drunken thing. But I'll speak to you all later. Cheers, Jimmy.